Eric Keller here with Enthusiast Auto Group. We are going to go through the EAG and a workshop tour. We're going to start with our parts department, where we have over 13,000 unique SKUs, all available and in inventory, ready to go on these cars that we are rejuvenating and preparing for the next loving homes. When you are ready to buy your car, we would certainly love to give you the full EAG experience and tour. It's something we've been working on over the years, and it's quite a lot of fun. It's a good way to get to know each other and share these cars that we're very passionate about. And in the workshop today, we have an M4 GTS that is filthy dirty, finished in frozen gray. This was a trade-in on an E30 M3 sedan, 6-speed, from a multiple repeat client. Really good friend, actually. This car has lived at thermal and been driven and enjoyed the way that it was meant to, broken in properly and fully documented along the way. Full thermal pit crew taking care of it, both window stickers, all the service history, and certainly overly maintained to the definition of the phrase. We've sold this car to a repeat client that will be using the car at Putnam Park, which is doing a little bit of a motorsport country club theme, and he also bought that orange M3 that we'll come back to. We've got a 1M. It's a 2011, as they all are, one of the 740 built for our market, and I bought this from the original owner. It has just 6,000 miles, yet still has a couple normal used characteristics that will be remedied as we go through the program. We're going to repaint that front bumper, rear bumper, excuse me. We're going to do the front too. I think it has another minor mark on it, and it has just been inspected. And it's going through all of the final checks, and once those two bumpers are fully restored to new condition, just for super minor stuff like that. I mean, it happens. It's a used car, but having it restored to a factory level, that's hard to do in North America, and that's why we're here. And if you need these type of services, call us. We'll be happy to do it for you. So this GTS buyer bought this car just recently, and it was done by a BMW franchise dealer as a Lime Rock tribute. He had a Lime Rock as well, and did this for a couple reasons. I'm sure marketing was one of them. And we had a 3,000-mile Lime Rock Park that also had the cloth interior, which the interior on this car, they did a really good job. That's probably my favorite thing in terms of craftsmanship. They did a bang-up job on that. But it was sold, as a turnkey needs nothing, and well, he was wise enough to send it to us, just double check everything, having just bought it, and we went through all the systems on the car, and it was 90% of what he thought he bought, and he's happy with that. We're going to take it that extra 10% and get it ready to use and enjoy turnkey to a high standard, and it'll have some fun touring lap miles, as well as the family to enjoy that with the other Lime Rock. This is a repeat S54 powered Z3M Roadster with a hardtop. I've had this car a couple times. We've just sold this car to a 72-year-old enthusiast in Pennsylvania. Good old Frank. Frank the Tank is going to really have a lot of fun this summer, just enjoying the S54 soundtrack, especially coming out of these Eisenman mufflers that we installed for the previous owner. Doing our final quality control post-sale inspection, and by the end of the day tomorrow we should be off to detail and getting this one ready for delivery. A lot of small little updates as we do. Some of our Michelin tires, and the workshop that I'm really excited to share with you. We have 4 different E30 M3s, all here going through different stages of their program with us. Some customer, some EAG stock, and some not yet on market. We'll come back to this one here in the front in a second. This is a 1991, one of 273 built. Bought it from the second owner, who's owned the car since the early 90s. It is an 85,000 mile example that is in as arrival condition. Apologize up front. It is 38 degrees and rainy out. Thankfully there's no salt on the roads, so we were able to get out and drive these cars a bit and shake them down, so everything's a bit filthy today, but they will be much nicer once we spend a bunch of time in the studio cleaning them up. So this car has been inspected and is about ready to head on to the next stage. This is a 1990 M3 North American spec US car that was purchased several years ago, many years ago, by a Ontario resident in Canada, and it's kind of become somewhat of a family heirloom to him. Brilliant wrought on pearl beige, or excuse me, not pearl, it'd be Nature, being a 1990 model. Has just a couple small, tasteful, genuine mods, BBS, RS wheels, 16s with the genuine Evo 3 front lip spoiler. No other drivetrain mods. So this car has went through every step of the EAG Rejuve program. We've completed all the mechanicals, the paint, even though low mileage had some issues from some previous owners. Just treating the car kind of like a used car, so to speak, and that's why he sent it here to go through and benefit from everything that we offer, down to the full repaint. Actually, notice the rocker panels are the way they should be in kind of a matte finish, and those attention to details, that's what matters, and that's why cars are sent here. So we've got a lot of cutting and buffing and polishing to do, but once all that's done, certainly excited to get this back up to Canada, which it will be shipped with this bad mama jama. This is a 1990 E30 M3 Sport Evolution, the king of the food chain. This is one of 14 that we've sold in the last 3 years. Hard to find these in really tier 1, never modified, never crashed, never rusty. It's tough. I mean, they're old cars, and finding them in really great shape is difficult. And like most of the Sport Evos, the previous owner of this car reached out directly to us, said, "I'm really proud of this car. I think I got something very special." And damn, come on, he was right. This car's got 80,000 miles. That's the original interior. It has been very, very sympathetically preserved, enjoyed, driven, but cared for. And I mean, it's really hard to synthesize this condition and bring them back when they've fallen down. And it's easier just to always keep them up. And those are the cars that we're looking for. And this car, it was not cheap. And it shouldn't be. It's one of the best driving Sport Evos, and the weird thing here is this car has 80,000 miles, and I've been driving it for the last couple of weeks, just shaking things down. It's more so in the late fall before the weather came in, and he requested that I drive it a whole bunch and go through and make sure everything's just fiddle string tight, and that's the best part about my job. Well, of course I'm going to say yes. So I'm not sure if I put 400 or 500 miles on it, but it's right, and that's why he paid what he paid, and why he's going to get a turnkey product. Really excited to get his feedback, and it will be a Ontario resident, fresh from EAG via Sweden, in less than a month. So I'm looking forward to your feedback. I'm sure you're probably watching. So this car is what I want to spend the most time talking about, because we're really excited about this and doing something a bit different. We're putting it out there. This is a 1988 Henna on black repeat car that I sourced from Graham Rahal in 2009. I remember very clearly heading up there and checking out the car in person, and I think that was the first time I met Graham. We've done a fair amount of business since. Great guy, great driver, local in Columbus. And he had a great time checking off his box of owning an E30 M3. I believe this is the first one that he had purchased at that point. And it's a really, really great example. It had mid-30s miles, 36,000 if I recall, when we bought it in 2009. And it sold quite quickly to a repeat client in Halifax, Nova Scotia. His brother had also bought a Henna maybe 2 years prior. It was right when we bought this building in 2009. It was one of the first E30 M3s we delivered out of this building. I remember that day really clearly too. And it is a really fine example. The color combo, arguably one of the most, if not the most desirable for an NA spec car. We are right now at 43,521 miles. We spent the last couple months going through this M3 and a sister car that he traded in Both of the cars traded in on a M4 GTS that was actually my personal car that I voucher received, and that was a cool experience. We're enjoying the older cars a bit more than the newer ones these days, so I thought it was a good opportunity to get out of that one and get into a pair of these E30s. And so instead of bringing them both to market the normal retail way, we're going to let the market decide. Both of these are going to be no reserve at the Amelia Island auction just in a couple short weeks. The other is a Diamond Schwartz on black 1990, same rejuve completed. This one we've just spent about $14K and change, and there will be more things that we add here as we go through the final work order list. But it's a lot of little stuff that it doesn't totally need, but these are investments. They're investments into these cars' futures. A lot of these parts are still available. They might not be available tomorrow. And all of these improvements and updates and capital investments that we're making to the cars today, they won't need done for a very long time in the future. And while it's our car today and potentially your car tomorrow, our track record's pretty sound of buying our cars back because we're starting with the best, making it better, and keeping them in great homes. That's the key. And then, of course, open arms, bringing them back in and paying enough money that the owners obviously say, yes, that's a no-brainer, let's send it back. And doing it all over again and seeing our own work, in this case, a decade later since we sold it, and understanding what we didn't know 10 years ago and the evolution that we've experienced and benefited from over those 10 years, and then doing it again, that's progress. And that's what's helped build our brand and solidify our position in the marketplace. We're very proud to do it this way. It is a more expensive way to do it, and it's not for everybody. The business has evolved, and while we are absolute BMW enthusiasts at our core, we've been very fortunate to be able to surround ourselves with, a really good, cool group of cars consistently, and doing pretty much any, 25 to 85-year-old dude car guy's dream job. And we're very thankful. We're very blessed for that. And to do it with family and do it with a great group of people and team that get it. We've got a really cool culture here. I mean, the guys that wear this shirt, they do so with pride, and they really put their heart and soul into every car and really take it personal when there's issues. And it only takes one or two of those experiences to understand that, we got to do it better next time. And doing that time and time again is certainly one of the many keys to our company's growth and success and future. So we certainly appreciate everybody that has bought cars from us over the years, and certainly look forward to meeting a lot more people over the coming years. It's going to be an exciting couple of years for these young timer cars, as they're now being dubbed. And when I saw that there were not E30 M3s being sold at this upcoming sale, I figured, why? That's a good opportunity to get out there and show people what it's all about. And doing so with some pretty cool gear and hardware. So we're going to be there on site at Amelia. If you'd like to meet up and see the cars, go over any questions, review the cars in person together, I'd love to meet you. I will be there Thursday to Sunday. And I'm going to be driving an E30, but it's not going to be an M3. It's going to be a 1991 318 IS that we sold, I think, in 2013. And this is the nicest 318 IS we've ever sold, and excited to share that with a lot of fellow enthusiasts. And so if you are interested and in the market for a 318 IS, we got the right one that will be coming to market shortly after we get back and after I enjoy a good 500 or so miles in the Florida sun with the car. AC works, and it should be a great experience. So appreciate everybody tuning in. This is a long video, so for those of you who made it to the end, thanks for taking the time to get to know us a little bit better and learn more. We welcome any questions. Our website is always open, and email us. We'll be prompt to get back with you and answer any questions that you may have. Appreciate your time. Looking forward to more fun videos to come. Stay tuned. See ya.